Yeah. This is vibes and stuff. Check it out.
We're diving in where the world collide. Culture's calling, it's a crazy ride. Music's pumping, food's on the plate. We're vibing here, let's celebrate. Vibes and stuff, we keep it real. Talking about the way we feel. From the beats to the love we share. Everything in between we care. Uncle Freezy vibing all night and all day. Big pizza, always something to say. Our main man in the cut, he is soul finger. BSJ always showing up as a soulful singer. Ron, Bully and Corey always being so thorough. Don't forget from that, ain't rap Triborough.
It's vibes and stuff. Vibes and stuff.
Vibes and stuff, we keep it real. Talking about the way we feel. Talking about the way we feel. From the beats to the love we share. From the beats to the love we share. Everything in between we care. Everything in between we care. It's not just talk, it's how we grow.
It's vibes and stuff.
Life's a rhythm, we all move.
Vibes and stuff.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one, Chief Rocker, Uncle Freezy. I'm in the spot with Big Pizon. There, keep going. Big Pizon is in the building.
Yeah.
Man.
That's good.
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm chilling, man. So we vibing.
Grown man vibes.
Vibing. Yeah, man. Some grown up vibes, some grown man vibes, man. What's good with you?
That's a good name idea.
Yeah, man.
Grown man vibes.
Grown man vibes.
Yeah, man. I'm just living life. You know, spring is chipping away. When you're in the southern part of the U.S., it's starting to feel like summer already.
Starting to feel like summer already, bro. What's good?
And it's an exciting time of year for sports fans. It's the NBA playoffs are going on, the NHL and baseball started. Football stuff is creeping. You know, it's
Right.
a good time. It's a good time to be a man.
Good time to be a man.
But you know, it's a lot of things and going on, and try to just provide and make money and still balance the hobbies and
Enjoy some stuff.
real life,
Right.
gotta find that balance.
Hey, man,
Yo.
your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, man.
Y'all see how I just put him straight on the spot? Like, I didn't even let him know there was a spot for him to get on. I just put him on the spot. Y'all see that?
Man, I gotta say, man. All right. I gotta be careful with this. Not careful. Sometimes it is a mood vibe.
Right.
But for me, when it comes to all around, can I sneak in some honorable mentions before I say what my favorite is?
You need some time to think?
No, I know what my favorite is.
We'll say your favorite, and then we'll do honorable mentions together.
Okay. Pulp Fiction for me is numero uno.
Pow!
Because number one, Quentin Tarantino for me is my favorite director slash writer, producer, whatever.
Yep.
Like anything he does to me is gold for my own personal taste. So like I guess it comes down to, when they talk about MVPs, the best player on the best team,
Right.
situation.
Right.
Like I gotta do what's his symphony or his piece de la resistance.
Right.
His Mona Lisa is Pulp Fiction. Now there
Right.
might be some people that enjoy some of his other movies more or think they're better, but
That's his Royale with cheese.
that's his Royale with cheese. Like Pulp Fiction to Quentin Tarantino is like Michael Jackson's Billie Jean.
Right.
I mean, everyone loves Beat It, Thriller,
Right.
Stop Till You Get Enough, We Are the World. Like, there's always other great ones.
Yeah.
Billie
Human
Jean.
Nature. Pretty Young Things.
Yeah.
Repeat after me. Say nah, nah, nah. Yeah.
But Billie
Yeah.
Jean is just, whether you know the chair is not his son or not.
The chair is not his son.
Like, I've used so many one-liners and references to Pulp Fiction in my life. It's just, yeah. To me, if you're into more dialogue-heavy, character-driven movies, that's the one.
That's one of them, right?
As far as like the aha moments or putting together the plot and the movie, it's hard to follow. The movie is an actual writing style, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
The time is not in line, and but it's kind of like a flashback, a lot of flashback type things. Like it's not chronologically in order, so it's a hard follow for people that aren't movie enthusiasts.
Right.
But for
At
me,
the same time, though, it makes it unpredictable.
yes,
It forces you to think. Like if you think linear, then Pulp Fiction will throw you in loops because it adds detail as it goes, right? Like the details are always there. The details are always there. You can kind of connect the dots, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, it doesn't do it in a straight ahead sense. Like
Right.
1 2 step, 1 2 step, 1 2 step, 1 2. It's not that. It's not like a Sierra song. DSJ, what's good, bro?
It's good.
What's going on, Nuck? How you feeling? What's going on, Coach?
Living LIVN.
Living for the love of the city.
It's the rhythm. Your move.
Yeah, man.
And so one of my favorite major motion pictures is Avengers Endgame, right? That's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but Coach mentioned an honorable mention list, right? I don't know what movie is my bro. One of my favorite movies for a long time before I became a soldier was what's the joint in the jungle in the Vietnam movie, the Vietnam War movie?
Apocalypse Now?
No, not that one. The one came out in 87.
Platoon.
Platoon. Yeah, Platoon was my job. I was actually a soldier when that came out, bro. So I misspoken, but Platoon.
You were a Charlie Sheen fan.
Yeah. But the favorite movie thing is so wide ranging. I like to put people on the spot with it because it's my trap way or my inroad into talking about movies of all genres. Like, how do I say Platoon and not say Into the Dragon? Is it the best movie ever? No. Is it my favorite? At times, like Coach mentioned, at times, man, certain movies are like your favorite, man. Like legitimately my favorite movie of all time. And every once in a while it'll waver, but my favorite movie is Forrest Gump. Right? And Forrest Gump is my favorite movie, not because of the character is dynamic. He's a hero in awkward ways, right? Like Forrest Gump's heroism is put on display like 5 different times during the movie, right? But since he's not 6'6", blonde hair, went to MIT, bunch of muscles, since he's not Dolph Lundgren, you don't think about Forrest Gump as a hero, right? But he saved Jenny from the abusive thing from his father. Remember that? Remember how he saved? Remember the fear? Remember how all those people he saved in the jungle? Remember that? Remember how he saved Captain Dan from depression? Remember how he saved Bubba's family from being destitute? Right? Remember all those people, all the people when he went running, all those people that went running with him, they had their own problems that they were running away from, but they just decided to run with Forrest. Like he was a hero throughout the joint, but you don't even recognize it because he didn't do it in the star Hollywood major motion picture way where he was standing bare chest with a girl in his arms and an alien spaceship crashing in the background. You know what I'm saying?
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. You have to wipe your face off first before it happens.
Another Tom Hanks movie that's one of my faves, honorable mention, is Green Mile for sure.
I thought you were gonna say Wilson.
Well, that's one of those ones that I like revisiting and watching. It's like a cinematically, it's it was a great performance piece by Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
But as far as the movie and dialogue, if you think about it, it's not. He won an Oscar for that, right?
I think so.
He probably had the least dialogue. If you think about like to have an Oscar,
Yeah.
like and the thing is, that's what's crazy about a movie. He spent almost an hour of the movie, besides mumbling to himself a couple of times and talking to a volleyball.
Yeah.
He didn't really say much.
Nope.
That was like, if you
And
did
that
a
was
movie,
the genius.
right?
The genius of the movie is the environment was speaking for him.
Right. And the situations he was in
was speaking for him. Bro.
Like if you have an abscessed tooth in that situation, like you do some desperate things. And he had to do it.
Yeah.
With the ice skate and popping that tooth out.
Yeah.
But it really puts you in that, like, what would you do in that scenario? Like, mindset.
Bro. DSJ, what's your favorite movie, bro?
Deep Cover.
Stop it, bro.
Really?
Lawrence Fishburne's Deep Cover.
Stop it, bro.
I love that movie.
You trying to be?
That's literally my favorite movie.
Edgy?
Not at all. That's
Nah,
literally one of my favorite movies. I remember the first time I saw that movie. I was literally in the movie theater. The choice was between Deep Cover and Class Act.
Yeah. Oh, speaking
No
of,
wonder.
you're not my man. Yo, Deep Cover is DSJ's favorite movie. We're gonna stick to that, y'all.
I don't even know
what about Deep Cover did you like? What was it? What was compelling about Deep Cover?
For one, the intelligence of Russell Stevens slash John Hull. Um, of course, it's the whether or not he does or doesn't get caught. The things that he had to do to make this cover while trying to make this major bust for somebody who's politically connected,
Right.
and all the things that happen in between bureaucracy and criminal activities. So it becomes more than just a crime movie. It becomes government conspiracy as well.
Right.
And I love the most intelligent way to bring all of that down in the movie, of course, because let's be honest here, like we know when you want to be protected, you can be protected. But in the movie, the way that he was able to not only win the objective, but make sure that he was protected in the process, and everybody that he wanted to maintain a level of safety was protected as well.
Right.
How much? What do you feel about Jeff Goldblum in that?
It was masterful because think about the fact that you saw him fly
Yeah.
and knew that he was going to be in Jurassic Park, and you knew he was always one of those. He's a smart character, awkwardly smart character, but a smart character.
Great White Hype. Yeah.
So for him to take a turn where he's literally turning ruthless before our very eyes.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that was literally a lawyer who eventually developed a bloodlust. And all that because, again, the backfire of being set up to go to jail.
Yeah.
And for me, again, just that level of brutality that came along with it, like learning on the fly to be a criminal. Like he got a crash course in criminal activity from a cop of all people.
Right.
I think it was a great performance.
Right.
So would you say like? I know like the style of it. It's like when you start talking best movies of ever, it's one like the movie plot situation that's only one small piece, right? And then like the performance of the actors in it as well. That's another piece. Then you start talking about like the realm of the style in which it was written and the way it was presented to the audience. To me, it had like that neo noir kind of urban crime drama, and it blended like intense storytelling and almost like a socio political commentary. You know what I'm saying? Like just the
Yeah.
way it presented itself. Like I'll be honest with you, I've probably only seen that movie once or twice, and it's been a long time. And I remember saying to myself, like I watched it at a time in my life where I don't think I appreciated it as much as when I
Right.
watched it again a couple of years ago. I'm like, dang, what?
Deep cover.
Yeah. Like I just like the whole. It was more than just like a lot of people at first were like, oh, it's not. It was more just a drug movie. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like we're coming off the war on drugs thing and the Reagan era. It was a time of crack and all this stuff. The drug doing movies about drugs was like starting to be very prevalent, but this was more than just like a drug movie. It was like, to me, it was like, I know Lawrence Fishburne's character. Um, it was like a good cop. It was like a battle between the good cop and the crime persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like I felt like he was starting to enjoy the power and freedom that came with being on the other side of the law. And then like it even went into like some of the government hypocrisy stuff, um, like manipulating the flow of narcotics. And, I don't know. It's like I want to watch it again. It's been a while. Because I mean, I don't personally think of that movie when I. It's easy to say, "Oh, The Godfather," and all these.
The
typical-
Godfather was great though, dog.
Oh yeah, it was great, but that's the one that's like when people talk about like the greatest teams and players of all time and all that. Everyone has their two or three go tos, but guys like us, you like I like to talk about the hidden gems, what I think are even better. Like maybe they just weren't as popular.
Carlito's Way,
I was,
A Bronx Tale.
yeah, those are pretty good. Those are up
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
and see, for me, I also like the idealistic aspect of the movie too, where there is a conflict between good and evil in every character, right? Because remember that David Jason wasn't just an attorney turned criminal. He had a family to protect,
Right.
and the means that he was willing to go through because of the fact that he felt powerless because of the way that Felix Barbosa viewed him.
Mm.
Right. And
Um, also to think about the way that even though Russell Stevens, the cop, the one of the lines in the movie from it was that all of your faults will become virtues, and it literally came to play in front of our very eyes. But he also had the Jiminy Cricket "Let Your Conscience Be Your Guide" fella in it too, because Clarence Williams III was like his unofficial partner.
Yeah.
The movie that always kind of kept him in line and kept the moral compass pointing north.
Right.
and
And that's another guy that I feel like, again, doesn't, again, those two don't get their just due. I think that Lawrence Fishburne is an amazing actor, and Clarence Williams III, may he rest in peace, was very, very overlooked
As usual.
until you see the movies and look at the way he brings those characters to life to where they might be the standout characters, like it was in Sugar Hill, like he was in Purple Rain, even in the comedic extent. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So y'all like
You
crime
know-
dramas?
I love crime dramas.
Your
Yeah.
favorite genre is crime drama.
I absolutely, yeah, that's absolutely my favorite genre.
Well, when that came out in 90, what was it, 92?
Yep.
Like that?
Here in 1992. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they came out with, there weren't many, I mean, besides the comedy movies and stuff like that with Eddie Murphy,
Who's the man?
all that kind of stuff. there weren't many gripping, dramatic, thriller type movies with a black lead back then.
Yeah.
You know, because this, you know, everyone's, you know, likes to go back, you know, Training Day.
That was serious. That was serious.
Right.
Yeah, because they were comedies, man. Boomerang.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
But like, as far as, but yeah, there was Philadelphia, you know, with Denzel.
Fire.
But technically, Tom Hanks was the lead, but it was like a co-lead, you know. But this one, it's like gave us a black lead character that was had a morally complex and central role, you know.
Right.
And to me, you know, and I remember I had heard later, Lawrence Fishburne had turned down the lead in Boys in the Hood to do this movie. Supposedly he was being considered for that.
Who was?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Turned down Boys in the Hood?
Yeah. To do Deep Cover.
So what happened?
I don't know. I just remember reading it.
Because Lawrence Fishburne did.
Well, I about to say he must have circled back to it.
Oh, did it before? Because Boys in the Hood came out before Deep Cover.
No, like because when did Boys in the Hood come out?
91.
Yeah, but I mean, filming takes, you know, doesn't mean that's when it was filming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. That's not. Yeah, that's not what I'm.
No, I mean he was in, but like he turned down the lead. Like I guess he was going to be considered for a different part. I guess I don't know.
Well, yeah. Lawrence Fishburne was hot during that time too. By the way.
Yeah, between that movie and Bad Company.
What's love got to do with it?
What's love got to do with it? But yo, so I don't know if crime drama is my favorite, right? I don't know if I think maybe because crime drama can be
redundant.
Yeah, it could be Heat. You know what I'm saying? It could be a bunch of different, you know.
I mean, it's a very overdone genre.
What's Tom Hanks crime drama where he was in the mafia and he turned against him?
Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition.
Oh yeah, that's fire.
That joint is fire, bro. That joint is oh my god, bro.
I mean, Goodfellas.
Is Road to Perdition or Goodfellas?
I would say Road to Perdition just because I like the era.
Yeah, I think Goodfellas is overrated, bro.
What?
I think don't get it twisted. I think it's good. I don't think it's top 10 for its genre though. Like people somehow wedge it into like somebody was like, "Yo, Goodfellas or Casino? Get out of here! Casino was 10 times better than Goodfellas." Right? The only thing
the character stands out is what makes those movies. Joe Pesci really made his bones in those movies because he had, I mean, again, he had prominent roles where he was in the movie and you recognize some level of star power, like when he started off in Lethal Weapon 2. As Leo Getz.
And My Cousin Vinny. Remember My Cousin Vinny?
Right. As the slick talking lawyer.
Right.
Trying to help his cousin out. So he made his bones, but I think those movies really put him in that light where it's like, oh no, this guy is an A-lister.
Yeah. But the thing is, I
think 7 is better than all of them.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Right.
Yeah.
Let me just do the comparison of Casino and Goodfellas. It comes down to, did Ray Liotta do a better role in Goodfellas, right, than Robert De Niro did in Casino? That's what I think it comes down to for me. And even though I love Ray Liotta, I don't think his Goodfellas role was as good as. De
He wasn't
Niro.
better than Sam Rothstein. None.
Nah. Because Sam Rothstein was cutthroat and vulnerable at the same time, right?
Yeah, but see, when I think of Goodfellas, I think of De Niro and Pesci's performances more than I think of Ray Liotta. But no, I know what you're saying.
I'm
Even though Ray Liotta was the lead.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Those are the things that I'm saying. Like, because I honestly don't think Goodfellas is better than Donnie Brasco, right? And I know a lot of people didn't see Donnie Brasco, right? Because Donnie Brasco kind of had you on the edge of your seat. It's like every scene you felt like this dude was going to be killed in every scene, right? You're like, oh golly, they got him. Like it was like on the edge of your seat, kind of throughout the entire movie in Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Goodfellas, it's more like this thing is playing out. You already know the story, and you just want to see how the story played out from beginning to end. Right. That's just how I felt like in with, you know.
But yeah, like the crime, you know, like if you want to go to crime stuff, like I got to go back to my man Quentin, like The Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects, yeah.
I mean,
Reservoir Dogs.
That was pretty fun. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is fire.
Yeah.
Like L.A. Confidential. You ever see that
Right.
one?
Yeah.
That was pretty good too.
Russell Crowe, right?
Yeah, and even it's not recent anymore. It's almost been 20 years, I guess now. No Country for Old Men.
Yep.
I mean, everyone always thinks about Javier Bardem and that bowl cut. They always say, but all the other stuff that was going on, that was a good one.
Yeah. Bro, there are.
I like the heist movies as well. The Score. Robert De Niro, Ed Norton, and before he passed away, Marlon Brando.
Right.
Um,
What about the Italian Job?
I liked it. But it was more stylized as an action movie.
Not the new one. The new one was pretty good, but I'm talking about the old one from, I think it was what, 75?
Yeah, I actually never saw the original.
Okay.
I mean, Ocean's 11 is pretty fire.
Yeah, and see, even like one of my favorite ones is actually a movie that was made for HBO called The Heist with Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that. That came out recently, right?
No, that was way back in. I want to say like 87.
No, not that one. Not that one.
It started. Are you talking about Mobland? If that's the new series that he's in.
No, I'm talking about, it was a movie with Pierce Brosnan as the ultimate boss, as an older boss. That joint is, bro.
What was that one called?
I can't remember the name of it, but it is. I think it came out like within the last 10 years. That joint is fire.
Not the Thomas Crown Affair.
Thomas Crown Affair? I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't.
That was good also, but I don't think it was the Thomas Crown Affair.
But yeah, like even the whole thing, the way, the premise of the movie with
it's the Thomas
the
Crown Affair, I think, isn't it?
I don't think so. What year did it come out?
99.
No, it's more recent than that. And the one I'm talking about, it might have been a Netflix movie.
Oh, well,
okay.
Dead Presidents. That's a good heist movie.
Yeah.
Even
I think the beautiful thing about Dead Presidents was the fact that it made you sympathetic to why.
Right.
It gave the why before you could really see the whole thing unfold. Like he wasn't a criminal. Yeah, he wasn't just a criminal to be a criminal. You know what I mean? Like, this is my career thing.
A lot of people aren't, bro.
It's like the desperation behind it, and it made you sympathetic to his, his plight, and it made you kind of root for him to a degree as well.
Right. And I know Freezy's not a big fan of Ben Affleck, but that movie, The Town. You ever
The
seen
Town
The
was
Town?
great. Yeah,
Man,
the
Ben
Town was
Affleck,
absolutely great.
I don't want to see nothing with Ben Affleck in it, bro.
Bro.
Jeremy, and see, I'll be honest, Jeremy Renner really was the star in that one as far
Yeah.
as
That one's pretty fire.
Let me guess. It's a Boston movie.
Yeah. It's a
well,
Boston-
let me
yeah.
get and it's all about somebody accent. And let me
Well,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no.
There's somebody vexed in a thing, and somebody has to do something dangerous to save a whole bunch of. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that every Ben Affleck movie? I'm sorry, y'all. Man, me and Ben Affleck don't get along because of what he did to Daredevil and Batman, bro. I promise you.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Do you know how angry I am as a let me tell you something. I've been a comic book fan since 85. And Daredevil was actually my favorite character in 88.
Yeah.
So when they talked about the movie was coming out, first off, I didn't even really like Ben Affleck's look to the movie, stylized wise.
Right.
The cast was just horrible. There was nothing good from that cast, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
First of all, why are you counting? Ben Affleck is too big to be Daredevil for one. Ben Affleck is like what, 6'3", 6'4", something like that. Like 200 pounds, 210, 215, whatever he is. Right? If he was cast as Batman, I could almost see it. But Daredevil, man, come on, man.
Yeah. What about Ronin?
Ronin was a great
heist.
Stylized movie. Yeah, it was a very good stylized movie in terms of the spy culture.
Oh, what about Spike Lee Inside Man?
That was all right.
I think Spike and Denzel always make magic, but if I'm ranking anything that they've done, that might be like the last. I don't think it was better than Mo Better Blues or Malcolm X.
Mo Better what?
Better Blues.
Mo Better Blues.
What? Bro, did you put Mo Better Blues in a great movie conversation?
No. I think
what's going on?
No. Hear what I said. I said I think that Denzel and Spike Lee can make magic.
Okay.
But in terms of ranking the movies that they've done between Inside Man, Mo Better Blues, Malcolm X, I wouldn't rank Inside Man so high.
Right.
What was that movie with? You guys know Ben Kingsley, right?
Yeah.
What was that movie with him?
Iron Man 3.
No. He was in that too. This part was hilarious. He was like really intense. Like he was like terrifying, like unpredictable. He was like, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. That Ian McShane is in it. What's the name of that movie, man? It's like like a British crime movie, but it was so good. I saw it like 2 years ago, the first time. Oh, Sexy Beast.
Okay.
Man,
I never saw that one. I hate that I now that I'm hating that I missed it because I've seen of course, through the streaming platform, but always kind of bypass it. Like I'll eventually get to it.
Yeah, nah, it's pretty fire. Like Ben Kingsley in that movie is crazy. He's so good. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he is. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest. I always said that if I had an opportunity to recast for X-Men, he'd be my Professor X, just because
Yeah,
Patrick Stewart already had the role and
right.
he did a phenomenal job with it. Plus, again, aesthetically, he looked the part. But I felt like
Right.
Ben Kingsley was absolutely like if it was a 1A and 1B situation,
Mhm.
he would be it.
Let me. I feel like I don't know if I have different movie sensibilities or if y'all are wrong. I'm gonna say I have different movie sensibilities, right? Because when it comes to spy movies, bro, or those type of movies, I feel like we leave out movies like The Hunt for Red October, where the acting was phenomenal. The Mission Impossible movies, like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. To me, I think the Mission Impossible movies are better than all of the James Bond movies combined. So there are 6 Mission Impossible movies, and I think there are 28 James Bond movies. And think if you combine all 28 James Bond movies, there's no comparison to the 6 Mission Impossible movies. Not because of nobody can play what's the
Ethan
lead?
Hunt.
Like it's not that no one can play Ethan Hunt because someone else can, right? But it's because the James Bonds had so many different type of James Bonds. All of them are so different. It's kind of hard to like there is the very smooth, like there's a very smooth gadget James Bond, the Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton was kind of tough though, right? Yeah, he was kind of tough, but then you have the tough guy James Bond, the Sean Connery, Pierce. I mean, not Pierce Brosnan, but yeah, Pierce Brosnan. And what's the other guy? Roger Craig, Craig David Geffen.
Oh, Roger Moore.
No,
No, not Roger Moore.
the new one, the blonde one,
Daniel Craig,
Daniel
Yeah.
Craig. Him.
who was also in Road to Perdition.
Yeah, he was also in Road to, and he was also fire in that also.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be honest. That's actually well, of course, Sean Connery. I think is just kind of like
The
the
default favorite.
quintessential James Bond.
Yeah.
But I think that if you could, like, if I had to pick my favorite, it would definitely be Daniel Craig because I've seen all of the. I have seen all the James Bond movies. I've seen all the ones, even with George Lazenby in the original Casino
1968.
Royale.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But the stylized version of Casino Royale, because that's really my favorite one.
Well,
The
Peter Sellers.
2006.
Peter Sellers was James Bond.
Yeah.
Here's Pink Panther.
Yeah, bro. Those, you want to talk about underrated movies? Funny
Yeah.
movies.
Very.
Them Pink Panther ones, bro.
Yeah. Very underrated. Those
Bro.
movies, bro.
Bro, them thing. That's like in the realm of
No, hey, don't be hot and watch that, bro. You will legit hurt your stomach laughing, bro. Like even when the theme music come in at the wrong time, like my man would be walking and then dun-dum.
Gato. So those
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah.
Sellers is comic genius, bro.
Very, very underrated, bro. Very underrated actor, bro. But when it comes to like the those type of espionage movies, bro, like because I think there's a difference between spy and espionage, right? And I'm sorry, the the Hunt for Red October is more. I guess it borders the line right between spy and espionage.
I mean, I would consider it like a war movie too. Like,
Yeah, on the
kinda like-
verge.
I mean, the thing is, like, when you talk about films like that, you gotta understand, and maybe we're speaking to this because our age,
Right.
But that man, that late '80s to early '90s, all the way up to the late '90s,
Yeah.
bro, that was you had a movie. I mean, that was the heyday of cinema, man.
Yeah.
Like that's when going to the movies was at its peak. Like
Real ride.
get some popcorn, and because the technology started creeping in, and the
Yeah.
sound of the movie theater and the big screen, and everyone started getting them big old projection TVs at home.
Yeah.
You can go to the
We started
Blockbuster.
going to DVDs, Blu-ray,
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm
where you
saying?
can
Like,
actually see everything, where you can see all the parts of the explosion. You
right.
remember in the 80s, something would explode, you just see a whole big mass of, but then
Yeah,
with Blu-ray, you could see all the little particles out of
yeah,
the
yeah.
ooh. Yeah.
But like movies that came out then, like that were like they get lost in the sauce. Like when you say
Yeah.
like The Fugitive,
Yeah.
bro, that movie. Every time I say that movie's on, it's fire. Like,
I got another one. Not to cut you off, I got another one. But Enemy of the State,
oh yeah, that's another good one.
fire, bro. Enemy of the State was fire.
Even A Long Kiss Goodnight,
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson and Gina Davis.
Yep.
That was pretty fire. You had like a little dark comedy into it as well,
Right.
But,
right.
Man, like A Few Good Men, though.
Might be the greatest movie of all time, bro.
Bro, that movie had so much, because the backstory, like you want to talk about crime stuff and like looking for like just a blend of the drama behind it and a little bit of mystery, and
right.
then the acting,
Phenomenal.
Titans, all that stuff. When Jack Nicholson like hit that role, like just with his flat top, you can't handle the truth.
Of course, him snapping at the end
Yeah,
once he realized he's getting charged with the murder of Santiago.
yeah. And then he monologues about he justifying it, and all this stuff.
Which in the end really is, I think, the one thing that you love about villains is that they find a way to make it make sense
Right.
to why they do it. Because again, you kind of want the backstory. You don't want to just have like for instance, one of my favorite military dramas is A Soldier Story.
Okay.
And when you get to the reasoning behind the murder of the sergeant, you felt you were empathetic towards the reasoning. Like, this guy's like the quintessential bully. He's a bully with rank, and he abuses that power to the point where one of the most beloved soldiers in that unit commits suicide off of a false charge anyway.
Yeah.
And somebody felt that he felt the need to protect the soldiers, that it felt like he had to do something about it personally. And then just again, the whole like running around to find out what really happened. When you dig into other people's backstories, it's like, okay, well, yeah, he came off this way, but when you found out what happened to this person, like the sergeant that got demoted, who spoke of the sergeant so highly, all of a sudden now he's a piece of crap and he deserved what he got coming to him.
Right. That was like,
So,
wasn't Denzel in that?
matter of fact, Denzel was Peterson, the guy that shot the sergeant.
Yeah, and David Allen Greer too was in it, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it. That was like what early mid '80s.
What movie? What movie was that?
A Soldier Story.
Soldier
Oh,
Story.
sorry, that's yeah.
Howard Rollins was in the heat of the
Man.
night lead. So of course, he got
I mean, there's a lot of
military
military dramas. I mean, Saving Private Ryan.
yeah. Matter of fact, what's your favorite military drama?
Me?
Yeah.
Probably that, or I know Full Metal Jacket's up there for me too.
I ain't gonna front row. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound mad corny, but this is my honest truth. I generally don't watch movies like that because of some stuff that I've experienced in the military.
Yeah.
And so I try to kind of shy away from it, especially since a lot of it is Hollywooded up for dramatic effect. And so for me, I'm already a night owl, right? Because of certain things, and not to kind of get away from that, but a lot of us like lose sleep because we think about people that we serve with, and some people that have been some stuff you may have seen or experienced, and then you watch it in Hollywood, and it's like, But if I have to answer the question, without getting like overly emotional about some stuff that y'all will probably never even understand, for me, it'd be Black Hawk Down because of some stuff that I experienced, right? And so it's like one of them things, like when you see movies like Black Hawk Down, it may not have been the best movie that you ever seen, but for me and for people that I served with, it kind of touches us in a way, because we know kind of like what that whole feeling is like, being somewhere and nobody can come get you, and you short on stuff, and everybody outside the perimeter is wanting to have you dead for any number of reasons. People want you dead because they just want your food, right? Like people outside, say people want you dead because you're invading their space. People wanting you dead to get retribution against an entity, but you're representing that entity, so they want you dead just to make you pay for, say, what a country did. Like a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? So if I have to choose, I'll be honest and say, for me, it'll be Black Hawk Down, just because of the space I'm in with it, like the space I occupy with it, right? Like none of the stuff with me will never go away. I already know that. I already know for the rest of my life I'm gonna live on like 4 hours of sleep per day, and not even all together. Like an hour and a half here, half an hour there for the rest of my life, because of stuff that is seen and can't be unseen. Right.
Right.
So when people mention movies like oh man, did you see Saving Private Ryan was so real? Yeah, it's still Hollywood though. And for those people that did see it, they could never unsee it. Like if you watch Saving Private Ryan, you can see it and unsee it. You know what I'm saying? You can watch it, you don't ever have to watch it again. Right.
Right.
But for some, if you live outside Fort Benning, Georgia, or you live outside of Columbia, South Carolina, or you live outside Killeen, Texas, maybe you served and maybe you stayed, but you've been through some stuff, been adjacent to people that have been through stuff. And so you can't undo like certain things. So without getting too veteran and military-ish, I would say Black Hawk Down, because I know what it's like to be staging, getting all your TA-50, getting all your shots, going to 3 different staging areas, flying in a plane hopping across all these different places to get to a certain zone, whether you don't know if you're going to live or die or not. you know, saying making you fill out all these forms. Yo, in case something nothing happened, but just in case, we need to have your emergency contacts for us to have these soldiers walk up to them people after you pass away to explain to them that you passed away serving your country. Like all these little minor details and stuff like that kind of stick with you as I go about life. Like sometimes I be up in the mornings and I know this don't have anything to do with the movies, but I'm just sharing some insight. Like, so last week I'm up pacing the floor. I'm up, can't sleep. Got to be on the phones at 8:00, right? Hiring people. Got to finish up some last minute touches on some people that want to come work with us. Got like a 10-hour day ahead, knowing I got to go to sleep. Man, trying to force myself to go to sleep, right? But I'm up eating cereal, wide awake, thinking like, what'll happen if I go to sleep? You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I know nothing to happen. I'll get rest and be productive that next day at work. But when you've been in a situation where, you know, you're like, if I go to sleep, somebody's life is at stake, you know, it impacts you for the rest of your life. So 30 years later, some of us are still dealing with stuff. That's why when I see certain movies, I'm very critical of the ones that I watch. So if it's not very, very current, like if it's not Black Hawk Down or something very, very current, or if it's something not prehistoric, like Civil War type movie, World War II, then I discredit everything. Right? I discredit everything. If it's Vietnam era, I listen. American Gangster, even though I like it, the Vietnam part of it, I discredit all of that. Yeah. Right? Like certain movies you see, like you like.
You know, my
Hamburger Hill.
One of my friends who I went to high school with, Aaron Weaver, was part of the guys that went down in Black Hawk Down. He went to Citrus High School. He was an amazing cross country runner. He later, you know, he was part of the Army Rangers. He had survived that battle. They kind of talked about it in the book and film of Black Hawk Down. You know, and he had gotten testicular cancer, and he made like a remarkable recovery.
Right.
And he got medical clearance to come back and serve. In like late 2003.
Right.
Then in 2004, he was on the helicopter. He was one of the 8 guys that went down. So this dude his brother is he's kind of not a super popular country artist, but
right.
his brother always does a lot of stuff for, you know, in remembrance of him and stuff. His name is Ryan Weaver. But yeah, man. Whenever someone brings up Black Hawk Down, it hits me pretty hard too, for different reasons.
For everybody's perspective. For instance, I had uncles that served in Vietnam, and I saw them come back from Vietnam with all types of addictions and behaviors and things they didn't have before they went to Vietnam. Like my favorite uncle in the whole wide world left as an athletic artist, like the guy that could draw, do all these type of things. And he came back a machine, bro. Like you couldn't even recognize him. Like when he left, I think I was like 5 years old. When he left, I remember him being all this. And then he came back, I was like 11, 12, it might be 13 when he came back, right? And when he came back, he was a totally different person. You can see him like when he lit a cigarette or whatever. You remember back in the day, you remember how people used to smoke a cigarette, it'd be like this long or whatever. When we were smoking a cigarette long as your arm or whatever. And he would light the cigarette and look at the flame on the match and just stand and just drift. You could tell he'd be in thought. Like just a lit match would send him back, have him in like a space.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, you about to burn your hand? He's like, oh, that shit don't burn. I'm a machine there, Uncle Freezy. That don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dang, he cussing. He used to cuss before he left. You know what I'm saying? Like these small things. Like he explained to me one time, he was a demolitions expert in Vietnam, right? And so it was him. Another guy was his battle buddy. They had a sniper and a spotter. It was like five of them, like one person carried supplies. Those two dudes would demo, a sniper and a spotter. And they'd have to go into these places to get a certain target, right? And if they couldn't find the target, they just blow up the whole damn joint.
Right.
And he said, and my uncle was 6'6", right? My uncle was 6'6". His battle buddy was like, I think he said his battle buddy was like 6'3". And so his battle buddy had said, hey, man, you've been going in all these chats first. I'll go in this time, right? And his battle buddy went in and clicked a booby trap, and a booby trap cut the dude's head off right in front of my uncle.
Oh my God.
Right? Because think about this. Over there, like most of the American soldiers were taller than those dudes, right? And so they didn't have the weapon. So everything for them had to be a headshot. You can't let anybody live because you're outnumbered. Right? So my uncle's like, nah, man, I'll go. He's like, nah, I'll go because you always been going in. The dude went in, the booby trap goes off, and it just cuts this dude in half from the shoulders up. Right?
Man.
And so my uncle, in a rage, right, but in a small rage, not a Trey air fight and punching the air rage like Boys in the Hood, but in a rage, just blew up the whole area, bro. He was like, when he was running back down the path, he could feel body parts hitting him in the back as he was running. Bro, it was like legit. He was running because he know what he did. He running down the thing, and he could just feel like just stuff hitting him, just hitting him in the back as he was running down the thing, trying to escape. Right. Yeah. And so he get back. Now, mind you, my uncle is like 22. Right. He like 22 years old. He died when he was like 55, something like that. He had to live with that for the rest of his life. But he get back at the end of the path. Guess what his counseling was? The counselor didn't say anything about that. You know, the supplier didn't say, you know, the guy carrying supplies, you know, socks, food, all of that. He gave my uncle a cigarette. Your uncle smoke. Your uncle go see that, then go through that, right? And then what make him feel better is a cigarette. That's why when we watch the army movies, bro. That's why when people talk to me about the army movies, I'm like, I know my experiences, and then I know the experiences of loved ones that had been through stuff.
Right.
You like now when I watch Saving Private Ryan, I kind of watch it different.
Right.
Even though Saving Private Ryan came out after I had served and all that stuff. Right. But then you think about your veterans different, like all the veterans that hang out with us on Lawrence Tears and in other places. You think about them different. Like, dang, bro, this dude is always up. Like, I legit can call Soulfinger any time of day or night, and he always up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, what you doing? Hey, man, I'm just trying to go to sleep, bro. I'm trying to get me trying to rest my eyes. Right. That's why and no disrespect to, because listen, I know people go, the mafia movies put people through trauma and all that stuff too. But I'm just speaking to like our experiences, like our age group of people that have been through stuff, whether they went through it directly, they're adjacent to it, or they experience it through people telling stories and stuff. That, you know, that's why when I hear like people say, hey man, how'd you like that movie Platoon? How did you like Full Metal Jacket? Ha ha ha, me so horny. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that was funny. You know what I'm saying? But when you think about that dude, when you think about Kingpin when he was going through basic training, y'all know the dude I'm talking about. The dude, he played Kingpin in Daredevil.
Michael Clark Duncan.
No.
Gomer Pyle.
Gomer Pyle. Yeah.
Gomer Pyle.
He plays Kingpin in the Daredevil series.
Yeah.
When you think about dudes like him, bro, when we went through basic training, it was like 5 dudes like him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they families probably sent them away because they couldn't function on the
I
street.
mean, no offense.
Socially awkward people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of military's got a lot of them guys,
Yep.
and it saves a lot of their lives. But some
Yep.
of them goes the other direction, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah.
I get a little bit of PTSD feeling, and I have a hard time watching sports injury movies. Like, when guys get hurt and they can't play anymore, or like
Right.
stuff like that. Like, I can't. That affects me in the same way. I
Right.
have a hard time. Like, I always get teared up bad because I had, and it's not the thing that sucks is because I did play a little bit after. Because I say a little bit, I played a little more than a little bit, but
Right.
I tore my ACL like the 8th game of my senior year of high school when I was actually a parade All-American preseason honorable mention, and I was pretty heavily recruited for back then. I was like in the top 5 in rushing in high school in Florida at the time. So when you're 17-year-old, because I was 17 during football season, and something like that happens, and then like back then there wasn't YouTube and internet. Back then, Spurrier and Bowden and all them coaches call you, or one of the assistants call you on Sunday.
Butch Johnson. I mean,
Yeah.
Butch Davis. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They call you on Sunday or Monday. Yeah, I heard you had a good game Friday, blah, 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 Did you check out our game? Yeah. They talk to you, And
Yeah,
I used to
mixtape is literally a mixtape.
Yeah, like I used to have so many calls that we used to have a rule, like no calls after 8 p.m. because I had to do my homework. I had stuff to do. I was just getting
Yeah.
calls so much. And when I got injured and all the calls started to stop, it affected me mentally because I wasn't socially mature enough to handle it.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna say something to you. It's gonna sound disrespectful, but it's not because I'm picking on you. I think it's because it was a society thing.
Yeah.
Like when that happened to you, your support system wasn't equipped to handle it.
No, they weren't.
Right.
Like,
and you know how I know this? Because when stuff started happening to me, my support system wasn't equipped to handle stuff.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and not to derail your story, but listen, man.
Oh, you're right.
There are people here, like you have a support system in place right now. You probably don't take advantage of it because you don't recognize it. But there are a lot of people that are interested in your well-being, your mental health, your emotional health right now. Right? It's the reason why, like, when we feel like you going off the reservation a little bit, we're like, hey, man. Hey, we over here. You know what I'm saying? Because to stop us from going to that dark place. Because the dark place is easy to get to, bro, but it's hard to get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. And that's where, I was, man. I was, even to this day, it's crazy. I'm 50 years old. And a lot of people are like, oh, you can't let, you think about those times. I mean, it's something that it's a stain on my brain, man.
Right.
And then like consequently after that, because I was using my head as a battering ram for all those years, I know I've had concussions for sure.
Right.
And I kept playing.
Me too.
Kept playing,
Yeah.
And I know it affects me today. But I mean, luckily I'm with my own personal willpower and realizing what some of my thoughts are. I don't act on them. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't have a problem talking about mental health. This is a man
Right.
show. All us men, have these thoughts, different thoughts.
Right.
I've been driving down the road on my way to work, and I've seen a semi coming down the road on the other way. I've pictured myself veering in front of the semi and just ending it.
Yep.
I
Yep.
never like I consciously realized that thought went in my head, and I would never do it. I know I would never do it. 'Cause I
Right.
think about my sons, I think about my family, I think about who I leave behind. And I
And the
love
other guy. And the
yeah,
other guy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think about that too. And I love life. I want to live. I I don't even like to go to sleep because I feel like I miss stuff.
Yep.
I hate sleeping, let alone forever sleep. So for me, and I know a lot of people, not to get religious and everything. People like, oh yeah, when you die, you go to heaven. Die. I'm not gonna get in that part. But besides all that, it's like I know enough. I have enough willpower to not. Some people don't, though. I have thoughts sometimes when people are getting me angry. I picture myself like the Hulk ripping their arms off and beating them with them.
Yep.
I don't do it, you know,
Right.
but
Yep.
and that's something I'm feel blessed that
And
I
plus, I don't have the stamina no more. Like I rip their
yeah
arms off and be too tired to beat them with them.
yeah. By the
When I
time
get
I'm
up from
done,
this damn nap.
I'll be out of breath by then. When I'm done with this heart attack, I'm gonna finish this job. No, but that's why I sympathize with dudes that have been through it, man. Because I wasn't even close to the level of some of these other guys did. I know what they went through, but I know a bunch of guys that I was in some dogfights with and were teammates of that later took their own lives, man.
Yeah, man.
I got brothers that I love, man, that I lost that took
Yep.
their own life because of this stuff.
Yep.
And a lot of us are like, man, if you just reached out to me, bro, I wish you would have talked to me.
Yep.
Sometimes that's why I used to say, I've gotten out of the habit of saying it now. Like some of my sign offs, I used to say it with other social media things I do. When I DJ, sometimes I would say, hey, find someone in your life you haven't talked to in a while. Let them know you're thinking about them.
Yep.
Say hello. Even do that with your family. I'm guilty of it.
Yep.
Well, bless my parents. They're still with me. I don't call them enough. I don't check in with them as much as I should. And it's I do this stuff with my sister too. I got a sister that's a year younger than me. I don't check in and say hi to them enough. I just let time go by. It's stuff that you don't, because once it's gone, you can't bring it back.
Nope.
So it's like appreciate what you have while you're here, kind of mentality. You
Yep.
don't know what you had till it's gone. Sometimes.
Yeah. And sometimes we get caught up in a moment, and moments can last a very long time, man.
Mhm.
Right? Like I'll give an example of a veteran, of another veteran that we kick it with, and that we don't understand him sometimes, is as our brother Corey Lee. Like Corey Lee is a veteran also,
Mhm.
right? And we all have like these, like a lot of us are jocks, right? That have taken different paths. Like some of us went to college first, some of us went to the military first, and then some of us dabbled with both, kinda. Some of us dabbled with career, and a lot of us get lost. Once we turn 18 and a half, 19, we get lost in a world of trying to recapture our 16 and 17 age years, at the same time wrestling with our 21, 22, 23-year-old years. Like, which one are we going to be? Trying to find our way. And sometimes we get lost in our way. Like, during that time, I was in the military and I was boxing, getting my face beat in. And it was my way of getting out anger about being confused. Like, if you've never been a post-adolescent male in the best shape of your life with no direction, a lot of times that leads to anger and frustration, because you know what you want to do, you don't know how to get there, and it seems like nobody can help you get there.
Yep.
And so you don't have answers. So the best way of answering questions that you don't really know what the question is, nor how to go about getting the answer to it, it's just by acting out, getting tattoos, weird habits like getting drunk, getting high, fighting, arguing all the time, bad relationships, irresponsible with money, all these different. Like, Coach, how many people you know that have came across a lick of money in their life and right now they don't know where that money is? Hey, man.
I'm one of them. Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah, man. So it's like all these things that we struggle with as we transition from one phase to another. A lot of that has to do with our families not being equipped to handle that transition of one phase to another, because they're basically busy handling the transition from one phase to another, right? Like if you're a parent and you're going through the grandparent transition, and your sons are going through the adult transition, everybody's going through the different transitions or whatever. Don't throw in drama like somebody lost their job, somebody got injured on a job, somebody had a bad relationship with somebody, broke up, somebody lost a house, somebody lost a car, somebody is in. And when you add all that stuff, man, it just makes life difficult, man. And if you don't have somebody there to like, hey, man, take some deep breaths, man. There'll be other houses, there'll be other cars, there'll be other girlfriends. I know it hurt right now, but the main thing is that you lived, right? That's the main thing. When you said that, Coach, I legitimately was trying to find a way to say it without being offensive, because it's the same thing that a lot of us went through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so if I offended you, it's not because it was clumsily done.
I didn't take it that way at all. Like you were talking about this, last night. Like last night, I was yelling at my son, my youngest son,
right,
without putting his business out there too much. It's a general story that everyone's had, I'm sure.
Right.
He's with his high school sweetheart for 2 years. She has her own little broken past. So she's not very socially mature. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but they're both guilty of it, even though my youngest was raised a certain way to know better. He's not, it's his first love. When you're an 18-year-old, you don't know how to love right or act right. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to relationships and stuff yet.
Right.
You're still establishing who you are as a person, and standards and all that stuff.
Trying, yep.
Morality and all that crap.
Right.
So anyway, they started the whole jealousy and argument thing. It happens.
Oh, the classic. That's where it starts, right?
And then because he went to live on campus in college, and she was still finishing up high school.
Right.
So they started arguing a lot, and they broke up, and she started the whole like, I don't reach out to me anymore.
Right.
So he he was crushed about it, the whole thing.
Right.
He couldn't move on, and he started getting I don't want to use the word stalker, but
Right.
he's being stalky, you know, looking at her social media a bunch and
Yeah.
reaching out to her once in a while. Hey, I miss you. I love you. All this stuff, you know.
Right.
You know, stuff us guys do sometimes.
Yeah.
So in the midst of all that, she was at her friend's house. And he went there and basically he was throwing pebbles at her window to get her attention. And instead of thinking it was her and her friend's window, it was the friend's parents' window. He was like the rocks.
Right.
So the dad comes to the door. What are you doing on my property? Blah blah blah. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm trying to. So long story short, he kept telling my son to leave, and he wouldn't leave because he wanted to talk to her. And the guy pulled a gun on my son.
Right.
You know, to get off the property. The cops were called, and you know, but my son wasn't being aggressive. He was, sir, I just want to talk to her about, you know, whatever. But he was in the wrong. I'm not condoning what he did. You know?
Right.
So anyway, basically the cop was like, don't reach out to her again, leave her alone, blah blah blah.
Right.
And the dad of the girl's friend was saying, you know, I was close to shooting you. You know, when someone says get off your property, you get off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach him a lesson. You know, I'm telling him. So fast forward, months go down the line. Now the girl's been guilty, reaching out to my son, giving him little false hopes and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like she's saying, don't talk to him anymore, but then she's calling him and giving him little hints. So I get a Facebook message last night telling me to tell my son to leave her alone and all this stuff from this guy. And I'm like, why are you messaging me on Facebook? So in the midst of all this, I called the guy and I told him both sides of the story. And he's like, just tell your son don't come back here again or he's going to get shot and all this stuff. So for me as a man and as a dad to hear all this stuff, it's like, it's hard to listen to.
Right.
I'm sitting here talking to so I got on the phone with my son. I'm like, bro, get over it. Drop it. This girl's not worth it, man.
But you know what, Coach? Here's the thing. Great advice from everybody. The police, like, hey man, just leave her alone. The parent of the person, hey man, didn't she say she didn't want to leave her alone? Coach says, hey, leave her alone. The other person reach out to the parent and like, hey man, don't listen. We trying to get him to, but you know what though? When you're in love, you don't hear the instruction like you hear the instruction. And then plus, if the girl is reaching back out to him, why doesn't everybody else know that the girl is reaching back out to him?
Right.
Right. It's just, in the grand scheme of things, first of all, when you're 19, 20 years old, when you're 19, 20 years old, you're taught to never take no for an answer.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Told you that before?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And anybody ever told you
fight for what you want?
Yeah, right. Anybody you ever heard the saying? If you love something, let it go. And if it come back to you, then all these different things that you hear when you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old.
All contradicting.
Right? Yeah. But you know what though? What you don't learn when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 21 years old is that the other person that's 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, they don't know what the hell they doing either. They also have conflicting emotions.
Right.
Right? Like the parent of the girl probably likes the son but loves his daughter. Right? So he got to protect his daughter. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then the father of the boy that's in love is like, he probably likes the girl because before they broke up, before the jealousy thing happened, he probably liked the girl. Then they break up, which has nothing to do with the parent. The parent is protecting the son,
Mhm.
and is thinking about the best interest of the son, right? And then the parent of the son is thinking, I can get involved so much because that's my baby, but I can't get involved too much where I put myself in a bind because I probably have another son or daughter that if something happens to me and the other son, how is that gonna impact the older son or daughter? Like all this
Right.
dynamics and all this stuff. The best thing to do is give it space, right?
Mhm.
But when you're 19, you don't want to hear that because you've been taught the whole time. If you want something, do your best to get it.
Mhm.
So yeah, man.
Exactly, bro.
And meantime, coach has all this stuff going on, and we're talking about Tom Thibodeau rotations.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm literally last night when I think when did we rock last night?
No, not last night.
No, not last night. We didn't rock last night. Yeah.
No, no.
Unfortunately, I got jet fellas. Get ready
All
for
right,
work.
DSJ.
You.
Much
But
love,
it was,
brother.
of course, great chopping up with y'all. I enjoyed as always.
Yeah, man.
I hope you can sneak in and watch with us a little bit later.
Oh, for sure.
DSJ Hall & Oates is overrated.
Take that back.
Take it back.
You're not making my dreams come true with that statement.
They have no hit that's on a list, bro.
Maneater.
You're out of touch, and clearly out of
Yeah,
time.
you're out of touch with that.
And
That's funny. You ain't making Sarah
Put 'em
smile.
out of my head when you're not around.
Sarah
Oh.
ain't smiling.
Yo, yeah, Sarah
That
definitely
comment.
is smiling off of that comment. Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Yeah,
You ain't
man.
gonna be no rich girls listen to us.
No.
Yeah, your kiss will be on their fist.
Yeah.
Be God, your kid.
Yo, real quick, I guess before we wrap, man, Coach, when are we gonna do another joint? We were supposed to make a song live on Vibes. Remember that?
We could do that. There's some prep that's got to be done though before that. A little bit.
Okay.
Like
Let us know. Well, what kind of prep?
Some technology prep. I got to
Okay.
make sure. Yeah.
DSJ, you down to do a song live on Vibes?
Of course.
What type of prep we need to send, Coach?
Well, really, if he makes the beat, because I'm the guy, as far as my process, I let the melody of the beat dictate the topic of the song.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll have some sort of beat background ready, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, that works.
We'll create from there. Like we'll add little things.
Okay.
Add melodies, and you can have the base of the background, and then start to construct like a verse.
Hey, can the AI take our voices and put our voices over?
Sort of. You can do like a minute clip, and then it'll take it from there.
Okay.
But I'll only want to use the AI part just for the beat music. I think between DSJ and I, we come up with the singing melodies, the lyrics and stuff are our own.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like
when y'all want to do that this weekend?
Well, I work this weekend, so it'd have to be either next weekend or probably like Thursday evening.
Wednesday or Thursday?
Depending on the outcome of this Knicks Celtics series, might be, I don't know if this might be a sad song or an upbeat.
What I was gonna do, I was gonna hit you up behind the scenes and say I want to do a song for Josh Hart. Have you ever heard the Mo Bamba song?
No,
You heard
I
it.
that one.
You heard the Mo Bamba song before, bro.
Have I?
Yeah, you heard it. Everybody, bro, you've heard the Mo Bamba song. What I was thinking, I would DSJ. I know DSJ might want to do an R&B joint. I do too.
Is
But
it a remix of La Bamba, but it's Mo Bamba?
no, it's
Mo Bamba.
no, it's definitely not. No, it's definitely not Richie Valens, bro. Is Street is. But I want to do a Josh Hart song. You think we could do a Josh Hart song?
I mean, we can.
I want to do a Josh Hart song and put it out there on social media. About how Josh Hart drive us crazy. But he our homie. Right? So it's like a parody. Coach, you ever did a parody song?
Oh, I got a whole. Didn't you listen to some of my Bucks ones I did?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. But that was like 2 years ago.
I got a whole channel of about 80 Tampa Bay Bucks parody songs.
Hey, if we could do that, I want to do. Maybe we could do one for vibes and stuff, and then maybe we can do one for Lawrence.
It was something I wanted to do. It'd be good to start it like in the off season. I can definitely do that for Lawrence Tears. And I usually do it where I'll take like the lyrics and it talks about like what's going on, like what just happened in a recent game and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Consider that project number one. We'll consider that the project for us to do.
And
hey,
it's something that we can collaborate with too with DSJ. Like I can have him sing
the R&B joint. DSJ definitely. Can you DSJ? You down? DSJ down.
You can have the Josh Hart giveth and take it away.
Yeah, Josh Hart giveth.
Call it give and take.
Josh Hart, what are you doing?
He's always giving, then he's taking.
Definitely. Hey, DSJ, you gotta for the R&B joint, bro. I gotta have 8 bars, bro. I gotta have 8 bars. I gotta have 8 bars on it, man, to rap or something. So if we can get an AI to kind of be close to my voice on that, that'd be so fire. So
okay.
Something, Coach. We'll figure it out, right?
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
I'm gonna get out of here, man, so I can get some of this stuff done before the game come on tonight, man. Thank you everybody for coming through, rocking with us, man. We appreciate y'all. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.